A very pleasant good night, my beloved brothers and sisters in Christ and outside the body of Christ. Well, once again, this is your little Christian brother, Eric Braxton, speaking to you all from his beloved country, Trinidad and Tobago, the land of my nativity, the land of my birth, Trinidad and Tobago, this wonderful island country that is in the blue Caribbean Sea. Speaking to you all in the month of October 2019. Brothers and sisters, in this part 5 video, I was watching a video about my brother Dan Barker. Once he was a Christian, I wish that he did remain that way. But unfortunately, he have denied the Bible. He's saying the Bible is false. He's criticizing the Bible. And criticizing the Bible in all its negativity. He's saying the Bible is not the word of God. It is not inspired. Or the Bible have contradiction. I know that the Bible have copy errors, but not contradiction, my dear friend. You are saying came about accidentally through the translation. I hope that you understand that. But then again, you are saying it is not the inspired words of God, and that all the four synopsis gospel do not harmonize, and it comes down to oral tradition. No, these men was with Jesus Christ, and all of them wrote the Pacific book, the gospel. And then you are saying that that the Genesis is not true, that man do not have a beginning. Then you are saying that in spite there's intelligent design in the creation of God, you are saying God doesn't exist. And now you are championing the gospel of atheism. And that you want people to see you as a leading atheist in the world today. That you are in the forefront, Mr. Dan Baker, champion the gospel of atheism. Well, that gospel of atheism that you are championing, it is a false gospel. It is not a true gospel, my dear friend. And that gospel of atheism that you are championing, Dan Barker, you will not save anyone by that. And you will not bring anybody to God by that. Because what you are doing, you are turning away people from God. Because you are making them become atheists like yourself. And that is the example that you are setting, my dear friend. My dear friend, Dan Barker. If one of your friends, this is as an example, if any school teacher or school principal invite you to come to lecture of any of the school in America, university or primary school, and there are young boys and girls there, what will you tell them, the young boys and girls, that God doesn't exist? That God didn't make them? That is the example you are setting for the literature and coming up, my dear friend Dan Baker? Is that what you will tell them? My dear friend, you need to wake up to the reality that God exists and the words of God exist. And you are saying that the Bible is full of contradiction and the Bible doesn't make sense. And the Bible is a book of mythology. I want you to know that this little Christian boy, Eric Braxton, way down in Trinidad and Tobago, I am watching your video and I'm watching your conduct and what you are teaching and the bad example that you are setting. Yes, my dear friend, and all your so-called colleague friends like yourself, your bands of cliques of followers of atheists who are following you, lock, stock and jump, lock, stock and barrel. They are believing in you. They are accepting in you. They are putting their faith and confidence in you because now they're seeing you as the leading leader in the atheist movement. My Dan Baker, you need to stop being an atheist and become a God believer. Because you see, my dear friend, God say, Psalms 14, a fool in his heart say there is no God. And by you saying God doesn't exist, you are a fool. I didn't say so, the word of God says so. I just pointing that out to you, my dear friend. No, for you now to be no more a fool, you have to accept that God exists. So Psalms 14 will no longer apply to you. So now you have to become an ex-fool now. Because right now you are a fool. Dan Baker, you're denying God doesn't exist, so you're a fool. Psalms 18, Psalms 14. Do you want to maintain that foolish game by teaching the people that God doesn't exist? No, the only way for you to move away from that foolish game and accept God exists by becoming an ex-fool, so that you will be telling the people now, God exists, and you will no longer be an atheist. Now you will be a God believer and a Bible believer. A wonderful. Now, it's you have to make that move. The ball is in your court. You have to make that decision at the end of the day. my dear friend. I want you to make that decision. And all the people in the atheist movement. And you all are talking about the atheist experience. What atheist experience? That atheist experience is a bad experience. That atheist experience, you all are not setting a good example, Dan Barker. Because the little boys and girls are growing up. They are seeing the wonderful animals, the wonderful creatures in the sea, the lovely butterfly, bees, and birds. And they are baffled by these things. And when the little boy and girl say, Mommy, who created the little butterfly and the little bees? The butterfly are lovely, wonderful design. I'm fascinated by that big eye on the butterfly. And the parents, who's an atheist, tell the little girl, nobody didn't create a butterfly, it created itself. That child will grow up with a false idea, a false philosophy. Whereas on the other hand, my dear friend, the Christians who believe in the Bible and know God created a butterfly, when the little boys and girls hold the butterfly and playing with it, and they bring the butterfly to the mommy and daddy, the little boy and girl will say, Daddy and Mommy, look at this lovely butterfly. I love the designs. Can you take one of the design on the butterfly and get one of the Mr. George down the road that had the printing shop to copy design on the butterfly and print it on my jersey? She will say, lovely. And the little girl will say, Mommy, did not we read in the book of Genesis where God created butterfly and bees? And the mother and father will say, yes, these are the wonderful creation of God. And the mother and father will tell the girl, you see how you're wonderfully designed? No Big Bang didn't bring that, no. It's God who created butterfly. You see, the mother and father is setting a decent and a noble and a proper example to the children, because they are teaching them about the creation of God. And that little boy and girl will grow up knowing God, that He's the one responsible for the creation and creating this wonderful animal with this intelligent design. But are you setting that example? What will you tell the little boys and girls? Dan Barker? Well, if you say that Eric Braxton, is talking nonsensical foolishness or rubbish, and this example that I'm showing doesn't make sense, well, I want you to reach before the classroom, little boys and girls in the kindergarten school, and let me hear what you will tell them. The little butterfly and bees and birds and the little fish that they have in the little plastic bottle looking at swimming, you will tell them the fish make itself. You will tell them the bees make itself. You will tell the little children that. They are fascinated by the little bees and the little ants. They are looking at it and they know that it's wonderfully designed. And they know God, and they know that if you come and tell them that it make itself, they will find out. But they will say, Dan Baker, how can the little fish and the ants and the bird make itself? That can happen. We know our parents teach us that God created the little fish and birds. Yes, the parents teach them the right thing. But you want to go in the classroom to change that and tell them that the bird formed itself, that the fish created itself. They will laugh you off the school. They will laugh you. They will laugh at you in the schoolroom. These little boys and girls will laugh at you, Dan Baker. Yes, they will laugh at you. They will accept what Daddy and Mommy tell them, because Daddy and Mommy tell them the right thing. But now you are coming to accept a bad and a wrong example to the little children, telling them that there is no God and God did not create the wonderful animals that the little children are fascinated about. Is that the example you want to set to the little children? Dan Baker? You need to wake up to the reality, wake up to the truth that the physical creation, the universe, is the evidence that God exists with all His marvelous, intelligent design. It is He that designed it. You better believe that a full 100%. You better accept that a full 100%. And you better embrace that a full 100%. Because with all you denying it, you will not change that. It will remain that way, my dear friend. My dear friend, I want you to know that. I want you to know that, my dear friend. And therefore, I'm teaching you that. I'm teaching you that, my dear friend. And all these atheists who are watching this video, who are affiliated to Dan Baker, or not affiliated to Dan Baker, or watching this video and accepting this message apply to all of you all, my dear friend. Creation is the proof that God exists, my dear friend. And the physical evidence is in all your face every day, but all denying it. Well, all denying that you are denying, you all will not change that. That will remain exactly how it is. The sun will rise in the east and set in the west, because that is intelligently designed, the moon, the sun, and it is following a divine law that God created for the sun to rise in the east and set in the west. How come Dan Baker and all the atheists that the sun is not rising in the north and setting in the west? Oh, how much years you are, Dan Baker? You look like 60 years. Well, the 60 years that you was upon the earth, on the sun rising in one direction, the east and setting in the west. Well, if the sun did make itself, it would not do that. It's an intelligent being designed it and fix it that way. You get the message now? Right. My dear friend. So wake to that reality, wake to that consciousness, wake to that truth. This is an eye-opening, my dear friend. And the Bible teaches us that God created all these things in the book of Genesis. The moon, the stars, the planet, the animal, then Adam and Eve on the sixth day. The Genesis story is real. That is not no fake story. That is not no make-up story. That is not no Greek mythology. That is real, my dear friend. You need to go back to Genesis and accept that. Instead of looking fault to criticize the Bible and to find fault with it, you need to accept it a full 100%. Yes, my dear friend. And I regret and instructing you to do that. Whether you reject what I say, you will not change the Genesis story. That will remain how it is, my dear friend. I could assure you that a full 100%. You will not change it, and I will not change it. It will remain exactly how it is, my dear friend. And I end on that note. May God help you to revisit the Bible and appreciate the things that God say in the Bible, and appreciate what the God of the Bible have done, that He have created mankind and this wonderful universe with all His intelligent design. Yes, my dear friend. But you have to have faith to believe in Him, because the just shall live by faith, my dear friend. And stop doubting the words of God. Stop arguing and fighting against God and fighting against the words of God. Humble yourself as a little child and accept the words of God, the Holy Bible, and begin reading it from Genesis to Revelation. Oh yes, my dear friend. Now you could go back in the classroom and tell the little boys and girls that the little butterflies that you all are seeing in the book and actually have it in real in the classroom. These things are the wonderful creation of God. And you will also tell the little boys and girls that God created them also and fashioned them in the mother womb. That they too are intelligently designed in the mother womb, just as the bees and the birds and the butterfly. Oh, the little children will love to hear that, my dear friend. And they will not chase you out of the classroom. They will say, hats off to you, Dan Baker. Bravo, bravo. A well lecture, well done. Because now they'll appreciate that the things that you have said, that God have created the wonderful butterfly and bird, they will accept that, because they will appreciate that. But if you want to go in the classroom and tell the little boys and girls who are already fascinated with the bees and the birds that these things make itself, and God did not create that, these things, the little children will be sad. And the brave one, they will tell you to their face, out the classroom, do not come back here. Yes, they will tell you that to the face, my dear friend. So shalom, peace. See you in the next video soon. Bye bye, my friends.